So yeah, I'm very glad that to attend this training to be the guest speaker from Cascale. So my name is Ringo from Cascale. I'm the manager of the Manufacturing Climate Action Program. Just what she mentions, we got a short term called MCAP. So I believe after this introduction, so I hope everyone in the training, the name, not just for the content, but definitely, the name of this program we call MCAP. So it's for your easy memory, for this program and onward. So I'm glad to hear today to be the guest speaker about the program and how we can through this program to engage with every manufacturers in the industry for the decarbonizations and then especially we would like to aim for the very challengeable target that we are all facing with regarding of the global warming and the climate change matter. So yeah, again, I'm the program manager of this program. So yeah, after my presentations, if you got any questions, so I fully appreciate you can raise the questions in the chat box so we can to make more dialogue. I mean for the program and anything that if you find any problem or maybe some questions about the program, yeah, we can have this Q&A at the end of the sessions to address your concern. So maybe I just get some introductions about Cascale, formerly called Sustainable Apparel Coalition, SAC. Actually, we already rebranded since end of February this year. From SAC, right now we call Cascale. So I'm not sure everyone here, you already knew this matter, but I would say it's one of the biggest event this year, I mean, in the industry that we already rebrand as Cascale. And definitely, I will say our mission and our footprint in the industry, we get any changes. But however, after we rebranded to be Cascale, and definitely our decarbonization scope and also our ambitious missions, in the industry, we will say from this program, we would like to, to broadcast much more opportunity, to our manufacturers who may be facing some very practical challenge and especially if they would like to demonstrate their decarbonizations opportunity, to your stakeholder or maybe to your brand that you are serving with. So I will say this program, I will say it's come from here. So that's why I just want to, to bring this very interesting point from here. We are called Cascale right now. And definitely, I will say one of the very common things that we learn from, let's say in SAC in the past, is talking about our Higgs index tools, right? And especially for the FEM. So I believe many manufacturers, for this training, maybe you already use the Higgs tools, for long. But again, I mean, I just, try to, to introduce much more information if you didn't know anything about SAC or maybe Cascale. So right now, I mean, for the our membership, definitely since early this year, we already get over 300 global members, across the brand and the manufacturers, of some of the service provider in the world, as our membership. So definitely for the countrywide footprint, we already get our footprint over 33 countries in the globally. And definitely for the use for the Higgs index, I would say we already come across over 24,000 facility users in the world. So I would say that could be some indicator, to let you know that Cascale, we are the industry leader, and especially for the consumer goods industry. So that's why we will try to, to support not just our global member, and especially for our manufacturers in the world, especially on how to help them, support them, for the acceleration of the decarbonizations due to the global agenda we are facing. About the Higgs index, definitely we mainly divided in three major product streams. The left-hand side is talking about for the product tools, which is called the MSI. Talking about it's the life cycle assessment that to give the manufacturers and the brand. Yep.
Just a second. I just check. I guess that you have some deck to be put on, right? You have not shared your screen yet.
Oh, sorry for this.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry,
no,
the
yeah,
audience. Oh yeah, I think yeah.
sorry for this. Yeah, no worry. I think it's okay, right? Yeah, no worry. We didn't
I,
miss any
I
good thing
think
from these presentations. I will say from the Higgs index,
yeah.
I just want to mention that we got three major tools, for use or in the industry. And definitely, I will say, yeah, for the products tools talking about for the MSI, regarding of the life cycle assessment that helping the manufacturers and especially for the brand that if you would like to manage, to get some more idea about your environmental impact of your producing material and products. MSI is one of the tools that we're using for long, and definitely in the middle, I believe that most of our manufacturers in the industry that you are already using that facility tools called FEM, facility environmental modules for long. So definitely right now, since early this year, we're already implementing the versions 4.0 and covering for the energy and the climate questions, for the protocol. So that's why I would say FEM sounds like it's not a new thing for many manufacturers in the industry. And definitely on the right hand side, I believe that some of the brand and retailers, when you want to assess your environmental performance, from your brands and retailer, we also get the tools called BRM that we are pushing, for the collaborations from the brand and the retailers, moving onward. So there's a Higgs index, but definitely I just to wrap up from this very good introductions that between Cascale and Verdi, who is the data owner of the Higgs index, that definitely we collaborate each other as a strategic partner that come across for this Higgs index, talking about already implementing in the industry over a decade. So that's why I would say maybe if you are not familiar what SAC or Cascale is, maybe you already know that Higgs index is one of our famous tools that are implementing in the industry for long regarding of the environmental and social part. So for today, definitely I would say again that the global challenge, I would say, is the collective challenge talking about how we can stay within what we are talking about for the 1.5 degree of the global warming. And definitely from Cascale, we would like to to drive for the change, and definitely we would like to support the manufacturers on how to reduce your global greenhouse gas emission 45% by 2030, and definitely just what SPDI mentioning about for the net zero by no later than 2050. So I would say it's a common goal for every manufacturer and also for the brand that you would like to contribute, along for your supply chain. But these are our challenge in the industry that we are facing. So talking about what is the Manufacturer Climate Action Program called MCAP, which is the Supplier Climate Engagement and the Onboarding Program. And actually, I will say the program is already launched since September last year, which is the 18-month program that we would like to engage with the manufacturers who is eligible for the program, and also for the brand and retailer. You are very welcome, to nominate your manufacturers or your supplier vendors, to join with the program for decarbonization effort. And definitely, our common goal is to accelerate the target setting for the manufacturers at the corporate level. So if you just listen from what SBTi mentioning about MCAP criteria is also replicated from the SBTi norm. So which means when the manufacturer participating in the program, we are pushing them, to set up their science-aligned target, which I will, to debrief further on. But again, we are talking about for the manufacturers, from your parents and the group level, to set up your science-aligned target on the scope 1 and 2 for the corporate level purpose. And definitely for this program, we are also providing some of the advisory support, to help the manufacturers, on how you kickstart of your decarbonization journey. So which means we will get some tools, training and guidelines, to help the manufacturer when they participate in the program in this 18-month period, to set up your science-aligned target and make it in progress. So these are our common norm in this program. And definitely, I will just give a very short highlight here that MCAP that we are talking about is to provide a stepwise intermediate, and also pragmatic approach, to accelerate the target setting for the manufacturer. So talking about the target setting, I'm not sure how, if you are the manufacturers or if you are the brand, how is your gut feeling, on how to set up your target, according to the scope 1 and 2 criteria. So these are very interesting questions for our discussion. About the program, and definitely, I will say, as we recall in early 2023, last year, Cascale, we engaged with Nike and Target because they also have their own supplier engagement program in place regarding of the climate actions, pushing for the supplier, for engagement. And definitely, Cascale, blessing from Nike that we are replicate from their program, a scale up, as an industry-wide program called MCAP, Manufacturing Climate Action Program, starting from this point. And definitely, we are also, through this engagement, we would like to take some learning, from our members, for example, Nike and Target, how can they engage with their supplier vendors, along their supply chain, driving for the climate actions, to put up the supplier success, for the decarbonizations. So that's why Cascale, we scale up the program as an industry-wide collective action program called MCAP right now, starting from here. And definitely to what I mentioned, that MCAP aims to drive a common approach to accelerate the manufacturer's progress in measuring your greenhouse gas emission of the scope 1 and scope 2, setting your science-aligned target, and let them, to report on your progress from time to time, and then trying to let your target to be setting validated and disclosed on our Cascale website accordingly. And you will see that on the right-hand side, we got so many suppliers from Nike in the past that they already participate in this program model. Is very good success, for their decarbonizations. So which means the program we already scale up in the industry right now for MCAP. Just what I mentioned, that MCAP is talking about to build from the SCAP, which is called the Supplier Climate Action Program from Nike. And we also share the same approach, to the apparel, footwear, and the textile manufacturers. Those are our prioritized product categories of the industry that we would like to focus on. And MCAP definitely is available to all manufacturers, not just for the Cascale member. So again, if you are our Cascale member, and especially if you are the manufacturer's member, I can give you a really good news about the program later on, about the pricing. But again, if you are not our Cascale member, no worry, we are welcome our non-member alike, to join with the program. And definitely, just what I mentioned, that we would like to accelerate the manufacturers in the industry, at their corporate level, to set the science-aligned target for the scope 1 and scope 2. I will share you more about why we just focusing on the scope 1 and 2 in this program. And definitely, I will say this program sounds like it's a very typical capacity building program, for the manufacturers, for their climate change risk, for their climate actions, to put their success, in no doubt. And again, the final point here from this slide is talking about from this program, we would like to, to remove the barrier of the scope 3 target that I believe many manufacturers that you're already facing for long. So because I'm also coming from the supply chain industry for over 20 years. Every time when I listen from the voice of the manufacturers, they are always mentioning that the decarbonization stopping from their end is just because they cannot move on for the scope 3 barrier, setting their target and then go for the decarbonizations for long. So that's why this program, again, we would like to remove this barrier for the scope 3 in order to make the progress of the manufacturers, for the decarbonizations faster, to put up our common goal, for the 2030, 45% reductions and then net zero by 2050. So talking about for the MCAP framework, and you will see from this fee-based framework that including four very basic four key elements in the program. And you will see that on the left-hand side, we are talking about from this program, we get some required component that when the manufacturers, if you join with the program, you have to follow with the MCAP process, which is replicated from the SBTi, that you have to set your target commitment, and then let it to be publicly disclosed on our Cascade website. And once you commit your target, we will provide you the 6-month period, to set up your own science-aligned target regarding for the scope 1 and 2 at the corporate level, and then go for the external validations. So which means we provide you the 6-month period just because scope 1 and 2, which is the scope of emission that most of the manufacturers that you can directly control under your operations. You get no hurdles, on how to assess your scope 1 and 2 emission in your facility, right? So that's why once you commit and set up your science-aligned target within this 6-month period, we will provide you the external validations in a desktop basis. And once you complete and get your science-aligned target being validated according to our MCAP criteria, and definitely will provide you that you can disclose your MCAP status, from a Cascade disclosure dashboard, posting on our website accordingly. And actually, I will just share with you that our disclosure dashboard already going live since last week. So right now, because the program we just kicked off from May this year, we already get the first batch of the manufacturers that are onboarding in first cadence in May. Most of them, they already, to sign off their target commitment letter in our Cascade website that, for their coming 6-month period for the development of the scope 1 and 2 at the corporate level. So again, once they get the validation done, we also get some optional component in the program for their choice. Just because we always say that manufacturers, if you already set up your target and you already fulfill the requirement, to disclose your target performance, and the progress, from time to time in an annually basis, for example, we are not talking about you put the full stop from here. We are also talking about and thinking about how to support the manufacturers, to sustain your target and also your overall decarbonization pathway that maybe many brands, when they engage with you for the order placing, they will also asking you about how is your manufacturers, regarding of the decarbonization plan and how you manage for the climate risk issue in your local facility basis. So that's why in the program, we also offer a couple of optional solutions, for the manufacturer's choice. Definitely after your validations and you get along with your disclosure journey, we also provide you some climate risk evaluations or solutions that definitely we're just focusing for the physical climate risk in our program, just because we see that many manufacturers that the physical climate risk talking about for those extreme weather in your country, and even for some let's say flooding, typhoon, those are a very direct physical impact that due to the climate change that impacting to your operations, leading for some asset loss, and everything. So that's why in MCAP for those optional components, we're focusing for the physical climate risk, for the evaluations of your hotspot facilities. And definitely, we are also, to support them, for some tools and training, regarding to help the manufacturers, to develop your own corporate decarbonization plan. Because we see that once you develop your decarbonization plan together with the validated science-aligned target, I will say that you can keep sustain of your decarbonization program, no matter you call your target is talking about by 2030 for whatever percentage you would like to reduce of your scope 1 and 2. The plan of the decarbonization definitely is a very good framework, to support your company to sustain the decarbonization is a no doubt. And definitely at the end of the program, we are also invite our strategic partner, Apero Impact Institute, who is the expertise in the field, for the climate financing. So at the end of the program, we are also invite AII, Apero Impact Institute, to deliver training about the climate financing. Because every time we heard so many manufacturers reflected that we get the decarbonization plan, we get the target already set and validated in place, but they are also facing, if we would like to go for some reduction opportunity in their hotspot facility, they get a very significant challenge, in view of the investment, how to put some good money in their very hotspot facility, for some emission reductions and so on. So that's why we would like to advocate to our manufacturers that climate financings in the market is quite hot, and we believe that if you can, to utilize the climate financing tools wisely, based on what I recommended, you can, to prioritize your resources and even your investment from your management. That if you were to tackle some of the very challengeable climate risk issue happening from your facility day by day. So that's why this is our component in the framework for your attentions. So that's why I just, to recap, these are the 4 key elements from the MCAP framework that we would like to utilize throughout the participations. Talking about why MCAP didn't require about for the scope 3, I would like to bring this very interesting figure on the right-hand side that we just, using some hypothetical blend GHG emissions as an example. Imagine if you are the manufacturer or you're the supplier vendors, along the blend supply chain, that every time when you would like to control your direct scope 1 and scope 2 in your facility under your direct operational control by your company itself as a mother company level, right? So your contributions of the scope 1 and scope 2, which means you are also indirectly or maybe directly, to contribute back to the blend of their scope 3 along the supply chain. So if you see that there's a hypothetical figure showing that your contributions on scope 1 and 2, which means is also automatically contribute back to the blend of their scope 3 target. Definitely, we talk about for this category 1 of the purchase of this service and goals, for this category of the scope 3 of the blend. So that's why in MCAP, we are also using the manufacturer angle that if you focusing only for the scope 1 and 2 at your starting point to faster your decarbonizations, this is not just talking about benefit to your manufacturer, your company only. You are also benefit to the brand and the retailer that you are working or serving with regarding of their scope 3 reduction as well. So that's why this dynamic from the MCAP like this, we would like to, to help the manufacturers trying to remove the scope 3 barrier, not just letting them, to wait for long, not just, open up the Pandora box, for the decarbonizations or about the scope 1, 2 for reductions purpose. So that's why just what I mentioned that MCAP is similar process in the SBTi. The only difference, between MCAP and SBTi is in MCAP, we just only require for the scope 1 and 2 target setting and the validation and disclosure. We grant a 6-month period, for the manufacturers from their commitment until they submit the target for the validations. And definitely throughout this process, Cascale will oversee the process and will maintain for those manufacturers. If you are the public, especially publicly listing in the country, those publicly disclosure, from your commitment, target setting, your validation status, and even for the annual disclosure afterward, everything will be transparently disclosed in our Cascale website, is no doubt. And definitely for the target setting and the validations, we already have our approved third-party validators, to help the manufacturers to go for the desktop validations. For this program, which is the one-time fee about $7,600 for each manufacturers, for MCAP participations. So that's why for the process overview, I will say just what I mentioned, that MCAP is replicated from the SBTi process. So once the manufacturers, you kick off your target commitment letter, sign off, and then you have the 6-month period, to join with the target development. And once you set up your science aligned target on the scope 1 and 2, we will definitely provide you the target submission form, and then we will, to let the external validators, whatever your corporate boundary like this, we will have their local validators, to serve for this desktop validations to you. Normally to say that if your data and the information about the scope 1 and 2 target setting well in place, we believe that the average validations periods talk about within 1 to 2 months. Sometimes I will say that if your data and information is pretty good, if fully fitted with the MCAP criteria, I learned from the validations organizations that maybe the validations periods may be less than 3 weeks is in average. So that's why again the validation periods is subject to how readiness of your data and the information for the scope 1 and 2 target settings according to the MCAP criteria. And definitely in the program, we are also, just want to mention that we already published our disclosure dashboard on our Cascale website last week. And meanwhile, we also published our communications and disclosure guideline. When you participate in the program, we also provide you this guideline that, to the manufacturer on how you externally communicate with your stakeholder, on how is your science-aligned target development, from the commitment, target development, validations, and even for your annual disclosure on our Cascale website. So we will have get that guideline in place, to help the manufacturer, on how you promptly communicate your progress to the stakeholder externally. So definitely, just what I mentioned that for this 6-month period for the target development, if the manufacturers, you cannot commit, to set up your science-aligned target within this 6 months, definitely your name will be delisted from our Cascale disclosure dashboard, is a no doubt. So that's why in MCAP, we also get our target setting criteria. So I don't want to walk through this very detailed point. Definitely, if you go to our MCAP website, we will have our target protocol and also the FAQ and the criteria and recommendation document that we already publicly share with every party, including the manufacturers, for clarity. But from here, I just want to highlight that in MCAP, regarding of the base year, we consider our manufacturers, in the industry that they are always facing, on how to set up your base year and then calculate the scope 1 and 2 targets, and then go for the validations. In MCAP, for the base year, we recommend the manufacturers that you can base on the base year of the 2019 forward or later, that you can set up your base year from this. So which means if you are going to set up the science-aligned target of the scope 1 and 2, you can set up your base year of the 2019 or later for your convenience purpose. And definitely, just what I mentioned, that we only accept the science-aligned target in the absolute terms basis. We didn't accept the offset, for the scope 1 and 2 target setting. And definitely for the reporting, definitely if you are using the CDP annual climate change survey every year, you can also using the CDP public link, that once you complete the CDP reporting, you just simply share us the CDP public link to us. We just simply post your CDP reporting, this public link, to our Cascale disclosure dashboard accordingly. Or if you are the manufacturers that every year you may have your annual sustainability or ESG reporting in place, including on how you make your progress, of your GHG reductions and update of your climate actions, you also welcome, to share our the public link of your annual reporting for this sustainability or ESG. We just simply post your public link onto our disclosure desktop accordingly. And again, our Cascale focus, just what I bring in a note, that we define a couple of a product category, in the consumer goods industry. And definitely, I believe that if you're the tier 1 and tier 2 supplier in the apparel and footwear, you will get a very wide path that this is our major focus, from this first year, for the tier 1 and tier 2 regarding of the apparel and the footwear sectors, to engage them for the program. So in MCAP, we already approved these 4 different third-party validators regarding BV, leadership and accessibility, SGS, and TUV. So which means if you set up your science-aligned target, and once you submit the target submission form to us, we will randomly select either of these 4 company, who has their local validators in play, that we already train them up. Once you submit your target submission form to us, we will assign these validators, to arrange the validations, in a desktop basis. So which means they are not going to go to your site, for the validations. They are just, go for some desktop validations, to your team, regarding of the target setting in your company, to definitely based on the MCAP criteria, and then go for the desktop validations. Okay. So that's what I mentioned, that after the validations complete and you kick off your disclosure pathway from the annual year basis, definitely for the climate risk evaluations and also for the development of the decarbonization plan, those are the value added component in the program that we highly recommend that the participating manufacturers that you can consider, to keep on this momentum to jump with this value added component after the validations. So definitely, again, we already published our disclosure dashboard on our Cascade website since last week. So I would suggest that after the training, you can take a look of our Cascade website regarding of the MCAP dashboard. You will see we already disclosed, for the first batch of the manufacturers, they are joining with our program in May. So they already signed off the target commitment letter for the scope 1 and 2 targets. So their status, is transparently disclosed in our webpage, publicly. So again, I just, to end up some of the MCAP benefits, for those if you are the manufacturers or if you are the blender, you would like to nominate your supplier or vendors, to the program, helping from them, to contribute for your supply chain decarbonizations. I would say that for the MCAP participation manufacturers, these are the least benefits that we would like to bring in with. Definitely, you have the third-party validations of your climate risk targets, just what I mentioned regarding the science-aligned target. And also, you can through our Cascade website, to promote your MCAP status, from the commitment, validations, and then go for the annual reporting for disclosure purpose. Through the program, just what I mentioned, that we will offer you 10 hours technical support, throughout the MCAP process. So if you get any troubleshooting, or any inquiry, you can, use our help desk system to raise the tickets to us. We will give you some practical solutions, to advise you on how to fulfill the MCAP process accordingly. And definitely from our program, we also get some basic and very fundamental training sessions that starting from the onboarding sessions and then go for the communications and the disclosure guidelines training. And then for those value added component regarding of the climate risk training and the decarbonization plan training, we are also following with the training plan for the participant throughout the year. And definitely just want to mention that we are through the MCAP disclosure dashboard, to help the participant, to you disclose your MCAP progress, from time to time from our disclosure dashboard publicly. So these are the program timeline and the service offer that for your attention, starting from the onboarding training in the program. And actually for the program, we set up 2 different cadence each year. So definitely this year is our kickoff year. So in May, we already onboard a batch of manufacturers, for the program. And our second cadence talking about in the coming September. So from June until September, these are the recruitment period, for the second cadence. If you're the manufacturers or if you are the blender, you would like to nominate your supplier to the program. After the training, we definitely welcome you, to send us the expression of interest form, to show off your interest to the program. And once we receive the expression of interest form from your end, we'll reach out to you, for the engagement and, for the contracting and everything. And definitely after you have your 6-month period, to develop your science-aligned target, we also provide you the communication and disclosure training based on the guideline that we provide to participant. And also we will offer you the third-party validations within the 1 to 2 month period, subject to your data and the information readiness. And on the right-hand side, and you will see that after the validations, we will get the climate risk training, the assessment, the decarbonization training, and definitely the most importantly is the at the end of the program, we will provide you the climate finance training for the participants. And definitely after you finish the program, definitely you can keep on your annual disclosure post, to share your reporting public link to us, and then we just simply post your report link to our disclosure dashboard on an annual basis. So again, if you get any questions about the program, you can either send us the email mcap@cascale.org for inquiry, or if you would like to go for the participation of the program, you can either send us the expression of interest form or send us the email about this. We will, to help you for the details on how to participate in the program accordingly. So right now we are sitting in the June and September period. So our second cadence is in September. So we are fully welcome. If you are the manufacturers eligible to the program, we are very welcome, to jump with the program, to get your decarbonization faster in the industry. So I just end up this session. So maybe I just, to let the participant, if you get any questions about the program, you can, to voice out, and see and how can I, to answer your questions. Yep.
Sorry, Ringo. Can
Oh,
you hear
yeah.
me? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My name is Moon from Crystal Marine, Vietnam. And first of
Nice
all,
to meet
I would
you.
like to say that it's so interesting for the MCAP. Yeah, and I have two questions for you, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, the first one, we already joined the SBTI as the group level. So if the factory join the MCAP, so it will be, will be duplicated?
Well, it's a very good question, because just what I mentioned that MCAP is just focusing for the scope 1 and scope 2 at the corporate level for the target setting and validations. And definitely, if your company or if your facility already joined the SBTI pathway, I believe that you should stick on the SBTI pathway, for applications, because the only difference, again, for the MCAP between MCAP and the SBTI is SBTI also including the scope 3 for the applications. So again, if you're the manufacturers, if you already know that your corporate planning, for the decarbonizations, you may consider, if you would like to take a very direct control, I mean, for your scope 1 and 2, you may consider, to join with the MCAP at your starting point. Once your scope 1 and 2 getting validated according to the MCAP criteria, if you still would like to, to further develop your SBTI applications, including the scope 3, we definitely welcome the company, to plan ahead. But I would say that scope 1 and 2, which is your direct control emissions in your company, and even for those hotspot facility in your corporate boundary. So that's why I would like to, to voice out that if you're the manufacturer, if you would like to, to kick off your decarbonizations faster, and if you think scope 3 sounds like it's a big hurdles, from your company, you may consider, to join with the MCAP first, and then plan ahead, maybe 5 years, I don't know, maybe 10 years. I learned from some company, for the SBTI applications. So that's why you can consider MCAP is a very intermediate choice, for your overall net zero planning in your company. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ringo. And the second question, please. I hear from your presentation that it will cost us 7.6 thousand USD for, but I would like to ask, the factory need to set the goals ourselves, and then the cost will be for the validation fee, or the organization will have factory to set the goal, and then the fee will include the consulting and also the
just what I mentioned that through the program, which is the 18-month program basis, right? So definitely once you you onboard to the program, we provide you the onboard training, and then once you sign off your target commitment letter for the science aligned target development for the coming 6-month period. Once you get your target development ready for submission, we just want to mention that we'll assign the external validators, for the desktop validation. And definitely just what I mentioned that for this 7,600 is already inclusive for whatever we say about the training and the validation cost overall. But again, if you take a look at this slide on the step 2, just like the SBTI rules that if, for example, if your company, you engage for the validators, they definitely, to walk through the validation progress, we just offering you throughout the program, you just get 2 times, for the validations. For example, if you keep fail for the validations, I believe we just, for the MCAP scope, we just offering you 2 times, for this validation cycle. For example, if the validator still conclude that whatever reasons they find that regarding, let's say, your data or maybe some of the data or information is not aligned with our criteria, leading the validation is still getting failed, we just offer you two times for the purpose. If let's say if you would like to go for more than 2 times for the validations, for the 3rd time revalidations onward, it's definitely up to the validator and also your company, to get a separate validation deal, until you get success of your validations approved by Cascale. So these are the agreement that under our Cascale scope of work, to be offered.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Remo. I got your point. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.